and I'd ride by, and he would be kicking the ball into the side of his house. And he was straight on kicker.
Yeah.
It was 86, or probably 85, something like that. And he eventually went on to be like the kicker, I think, for, I know he was the JV kicker. I don't know if, I think I graduated before, and I didn't really follow the varsity kicking.
Whether or not he got the letter.
Trials and tribulations that came after that. But yeah. The kid's name was Mark. I can't remember his last name, but used to straight on kick him into the side of the house. And I guess it paid off,
Well, it's nice to know that everybody's got a little bit of that World Cup fever, right? Everyone can kick a ball today.
Sure, why not, right? Yeah. All right, so we got that going on for the Jags. Today, big topic on the program is going to be what they should do with the starters tomorrow night, including Trevor Lawrence. Should he be out there playing football and at risk of injury? Look, you're at risk of injury when you practice as well, but there's a more controlled environment. We understand all these different things. Liam Cohen, speaking after practice yesterday, he's kind of vacillated on this, Tony. I thought it was pretty clear early on that it's going to be joint practices. We're going to be the way to go. We're probably not going to play these frontline guys. Then it was like, I don't know if we got great work, or some guys didn't perform in those joint practices. And then, we had the game. We had some injuries, so we lost a full contact day and full pads. Do we need to have him out there? And then as the injuries mount, you got Liam Cohen kind of going back the other way. Well, I don't know. I'll think about this. So here's what he had to say yesterday after practice on the topic of whether or not starters will play tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I got to see how we came out of today. I don't want to say either way yet. I really got to go look at this tape, see how we kind of come out of it. I'll make probably a decision, over the next 24 hours. I don't want to necessarily go out there, with not your full group, right? Like the whole point of it is to try to get more continued continuity and chemistry and some game experience. So I'm just not quite sure yet.
Yeah, and look, I understand that. I don't think he's trying to be coy about it or anything like that. I do think, somebody asked me out of practice the other day, do you think these head coaches will discuss the plan? And I do think that, unless you have some bitter rivalry and just absolutely hate the other guy, why wouldn't you say, all right, look.
That's next week.
Right. Yes. Well, I don't know if Liam's got a bitter rivalry with Tampa, but maybe some members of that organization do, coming back the other way. But I don't think we're going to have to worry about seeing them 2 joint practices next week.
No,
at least scheduled right now on Tuesday and Wednesday. I don't think we're going to have to worry about seeing the starters next week. But you say, look, we're going to roll our guys for a couple series, so you roll your guys. We get ones versus ones, good on good, what have you. That doesn't mean you're saying, hey, our guys are going to take it easy on you, but you kind of structure it that we're trying to get this amount of work with our front line players. Are you going to respond the same way? Because if we're just going to be putting out there against your backups, then maybe we will hold them out.
Right.
It's at least more of a consideration at that point. Anyway, we'll get into that today. Your Jaguars today question of the day has to do with that in poll form, really specifically about Trevor Lawrence today. Do you want Trevor Lawrence to play in the Jags preseason game versus the Carolina Panthers tomorrow night? Options are not even a little bit. That's the leader in the clubhouse right now, although not the majority of the vote. Maybe a series, also getting strong consideration. Give him a quarter and then at least a half. And not too many people choosing that latter option, but that's why we give you the right to vote. We didn't give you the right to vote. We're hoping you will exercise your right to vote. So if you go online today to @MD_1010XL, you can cast your ballot there. You got @1010XL Fat Tony. And no R has no J today, as RJ's got today and tomorrow off from Jaguars today. Jared Justice is in, and you can tweet him at his name, Jared Justice. You can certainly do that. I thought we might get a clip, I don't know, from Al Pacino, like, I'm out of order.
Yeah.
This whole trial's out of order. You ever see And Justice for All, Jared?
Yes, it was a very long time ago.
Yeah, it was for me too, right? Yeah. Like, all my references are very old. So
it sounds like a superhero's alter ego.
Jared Justice. Yes, Jared Justice, a.k.a. Martian Manhunter.
I always got mid-level, jobber wrestler.
Okay.
Like a guy.
I can see that. Here comes Jared Justice. And you'd have some kind of a sheriff motif, is what you would have. You'd have the gun belt, the star, and some kind of 10-gallon hat going on. Here comes Jared Justice taking on Wild Bill Hickok. It's going to be a barn burner tonight, ladies and gentlemen, on Championship Wrestling from Florida. So RJ's got the day off today. You can still be a part of the program today. If you'd like, call 641-1010 on the Key Buick GMC phone lines or the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures at that same number. Stream us on YouTube, on X, on Facebook, on whatever, on the 1010XL 92.5 FM apps if you'd like, or just listen to the radio old-fashioned way. We'll hear from Liam Cohen today pretty extensively, as he spoke yesterday. Trevor Lawrence as well. I think Trevor's game to go either way. Got one response today to the poll question that said the Bills let Josh Allen play in the first preseason game. Shows how much he loves the game. Has nothing to do. Nothing. This has anything to do with anyone's love of the game, for goodness sakes. They let him play. Like Josh Allen's like, oh, no, I wasn't going to play, but I demanded I'm going to go out there and play this week. Every team has a philosophy, and part of it adheres to how well you think you can protect the primary guy out there, right? And that is a big question with the Jags. Although, Tony, outside of right tackle, I feel like you might have your opening day lineup of offensive linemen available to you tomorrow night. So we'll see which way they opt to go.
And they got a new OC. Maybe that has something to do with it, too.
They do as well, right? I mean, there's a lot of different reasons, and there's I'm not saying there's no rhyme or reason. You'll find very successful coaches on both sides of the issue.
Absolutely. Is
the point. And so what is the right answer? Well, the right answer is the one that leads to you winning a bunch of games in the Super Bowl.
You beat Cleveland.
I mean, we noted the one year when the Colts won their first Super Bowl with Peyton Manning there, they went 0-4 in the preseason.
They did.
And the Lions went 4-0, I believe, that year, and then they didn't win a game during the regular season. So it's, preseason results absolutely don't matter, but the work you get done does. To what degree? It's more of an art than a science, in my opinion, on that. So Hayes Carlyon, the Hammer, going to join us coming up next. He is down at, I believe, the Miller Electric Center. He's going to do, they're taking him on a stadium tour this morning. I probably to show them, the update of what it's going to look like for game day conditions this year, which I'm curious to see.
Town's in the building tomorrow.
Absolutely, right? So they're going to get a sneak preview today. So Hayes maybe can fill us in on what's to come, but also give us some observations from the joint practice with the Carolina Panthers yesterday, which is what we're looking forward to. So we're locked and loaded, ready to go. Hope you're going to be a part of the program today. Don't forget the Chad and Sandy Real Estate question of the day, asking you how much, if at all, you'd like to see Trevor Lawrence play in tomorrow night's preseason game number 2 versus the Carolina Panthers. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Jared Justice in for RJ Saunders. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for my friends at Dandy Foods, locally owned and operated by you-know-who, the Thompson family, a Jacksonville bunch since way back in 1956. Big supporters of the local sports scene. Man, I've talked about Dandy's products on this program for longer than I can actually remember. It's probably been at least 15 years, and I've enjoyed their products for over twice as long as that, going way back to my college days, no doubt about it. Could still eat that tuna salad every single day, but Dandy is the perfect go-to for you when you're in a hurry and you don't want the hassle of a long wait, whether you're getting an Italian foot-long, maybe a delicious chicken salad sandwich. There's so many to choose from, you can't go wrong. Great value compared to the drive-thru, fast, fresh, always tasty, made with the highest quality ingredients that Danny can find, locally sourced as often as possible. The variety is phenomenal as well. Waiting for you in the cold case at convenience stores all over town. When you're hungry and on the go, do what I do. Go out and make yours a dandy, and do it today.
Jaguars Today.
You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Superior products, exceptional service. It began with a dream.
Got my first job when I was 11. Worked every day since.
And turned into 1010XL.
Isn't that what American dream's all about?
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jax. Thank you for trusting us for 55 years of custom welding fabrication and vehicle towing accessories. When you need a trailer hitch for the family car, a gooseneck for the company truck, or even RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We can do a bumper hitch, fifth wheel hitch, anything for safe, reliable towing. Come to Cannons of Jax, where service is our #1 priority and we treat our customers as we like to be treated. Check us out online, cannonsofjax.com.
Jaguars Today, Thursday, is brought to you by
Cannons of Jacksonville.
Sent in, and Sporting Jacks breaks through first.
For the latest on Jacksonville's pro soccer teams, join the Sporting Jacks Coaches Show, presented by Honda of the Avenues, every Tuesday night at 6 on 1010 AM and 1010XL.com.
Hey Duval fans, Jeff Lagerman here. To win on game day, our team needs a flawless playbook and elite execution, and your vehicle is no different. From routine maintenance and brakes to engine and transmission work, team up with one of 30 local Jacksonville Napa Auto Care Centers. Most repairs are backed by a 24-month, 24,000-mile nationwide peace of mind warranty.
Score big. Drive into American Garage on Atlantic Boulevard or Monument Road and Tire Service today.
Credit card interest rates are now over 29%. Most people are only making the minimum payments, so they're getting nowhere. Hey, Prosser here, but here's what many homeowners don't realize. Using the equity in your home, you can easily access hundreds of thousands in cash. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can pay off your credit card, your existing HELOC, your car loans, or get money for that home improvement project. One client just got $100,000 approved and saved over $1,500 a month. Here's the best part. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone. With zero out-of-pocket, no hard credit pull up front, no appraisal, no long drawn-out bank process, and no touching your first mortgage. Rates are at a near 3-year low. Act now. Go to loanpronto.com. See how much you can get in about 60 seconds. Loan Pronto, 2,800 5-star Google reviews. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Here's another call on the 1010XL hotline, driven by Key Buick GMC, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
You can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. My music.
All right, let's welcome in the Hammer, Hayes Carlyon of the Frangie Show, 1010XL's embedded Jaguars reporter, joining us here on Jaguars Today. Before he gets an exclusive, I'm told, only for Hayes Carlyon.
Oh, wow.
Tour of the stadium and the progress that's being made.
And now I feel like the privileged one to be able to talk
with Hayes within 30 minutes of him taking that tour. Hayes, good morning to you.
Gentlemen, you're too kind.
So is this an exclusive Hayes Carlyon only sneak peek today, or are more people invited along with you?
Yeah. With me. So,
yeah, all right. You know what? See, to put Hayes, we're having a real bad connection here. Jared, see if you can work it out with Hayes right there. I don't know if he's in the bowels of the stadium right now, which may be the case. And if that's the case, maybe we'll have to push this back to later on in the program. But I am curious to see, Tone, because all the word was that the Jags had a phenomenal run game yesterday, maybe their best of the offseason,
sure.
The way it looked. And, it's hard to tell earlier in the offseason because nobody's blocking anybody, right? So you're kind of simulating what you're trying to do. But yesterday, there are apparently a couple of runs that could have potentially gone for long-distance touchdowns.
Yeah, and I think there is a little bit, and I've seen people pointing out this kind of thing here for the last several days as well. There is something to... Look, we know how good the Jaguars' run defense was last year. So maybe some of they're not popping in practice every day is, are they going up against one of the handful of the best run defenses in the league, right? Like every day in practice, that's what they're trying to run against, right? And Trevor Lawrence talked about, we feel like we're slamming our face against a wall. Essentially when we're trying to run the ball, they've been really good stopping the run.
All right, Justice, we have this all straightened out. That look did not give me confidence. Hayes, do we have you worked out? How are you, sir?
Gentlemen, this is Hayes Carlyon reporting live from Baghdad.
There you go. Much better. Yes, I can hear you in between the bomblets dropping around you. I'm sure somebody is going to take great offense to that, but we don't mean anything by it. But, hey, it's good to have you on this morning. Tell us about what are they giving you, a little behind-the-scenes peek at the progress they're making on the stadium today?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing it. Mark Lamping's going to take us through it, and and obviously we'll get an update on how the construction is going. We'll, be able to communicate to fans, the kind of what to expect, if you're going to the game tomorrow night. So yeah, really looking forward to it. It's been, a real pleasure to see the progress, particularly going from when the season ended to then skipping ahead to when they brought us in sort of around draft time and see the progress that they'd made to OTAs, to then you take another break and training camp starts. So, it's been really cool to see it from the outside, but looking forward to getting in there today and having, Mark, let us know how everything's going.
I don't think a lot of people felt this way maybe 8 or 9 days ago out there at training camp, Hayes, but it does feel like Emmanuel Pregnon has had obviously a fantastic week. Are we getting to a point where we're just going to start assuming sometime in the near future that Emmanuel Pregnon is going to be a starter or left guard for this team going into the season?
I'm not quite ready to say that yet. I mean, I think he's looked good, but I think you need to see a little bit more, before you turn it over to a rookie. So, I mean, he's progressing well. I mean, certainly he's, blown past Milam, and so I think, that's a big step in Emmanuel's, favor and progress, is that, it really looks like he's clearly ahead of a guy that came in at the same round a year earlier. So I think it's been a great camp for Pregnon, but I don't think it's if I had to guess today, I still would not think he is a week one starter.
I would disagree with that. I think he is, and I think you'll see Ezra probably playing right guard to open things up, primarily, Hayes, because I think he has stood out with his physical play, Pregnon here, and they're not going to play him at anywhere but left guard. If he's going to play, he will be a left guard. They're not trying him out. He hasn't taken reps at any other spot, and I don't think they want to overwhelm him being a rookie. But that aside, with the current state of the offensive line, if you're Liam Cohen, are you rolling Trevor Lawrence out there for some preseason action tomorrow?
Yeah, no chance. I would think that would be, and we talked about this kind of last week. I mean, I just don't know. To me, what is Trevor Lawrence going to gain by playing 10 to 15 snaps against Carolina with a makeshift offensive line? I just don't think you get that much out of it. So why would you risk your season being over? Which is what you're putting that on the table if he plays. And to me, the risk far outweighs any kind of reward that you would get. I understand that around the league, superstar quarterbacks, we've seen them playing already in the preseason, but I think the Jaguars have a chance to have an extraordinary year. I would not jeopardize that by even the 1 in 100 chance that somebody, hits Trevor low and now, he's got an injury that's going to keep him out for the season. To me, it's just not worth the risk in doing that. So I don't think he's going to play, just from reading kind of Liam's body language yesterday and kind of how he's pivoted from, yeah, I think they're going to play to, well, now I'm going to think about it for another 24 hours. I think you worry about the functionality of the offensive line, and I just don't think Trevor Lawrence is going to get that much out of it. I mean, he's had 2 joint practices against the Saints and Panthers, so I think that, he's gotten enough work and will continue to get enough work next week against Tampa. I'm not putting him out there if it was me.
How many of the other starters for the football team outside of Trevor Lawrence do you think get held back tomorrow night from getting, even if it is just that 10 or 15 plays tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, I would treat it almost like they treated the Saints game. I don't know that the number would be 31, but it'd be probably mid-20s. I do think you can make a case that, like, Anton Harrison probably needs to play a little bit to get more accustomed to playing at left tackle. So the offensive line, I think, if you wanted to play those guys, if you wanted to play Cleveland kind of needs it because he had kind of a disappointing week last week. Hainsey, I don't think there's anything wrong with playing Robert Hainsey for, 15 snaps. So you might want the offensive line. Obviously, Pregnant's going to play. I mean, he's a rookie. And the right side of the line is obviously those guys are all, going to play. So the offensive line is what you have. I might play all of them a little bit because for different reasons, I think they need to play. But other than that, I wouldn't play any of the receivers. Certainly wouldn't play Trevor. I wouldn't play Tootin or Rodriguez in light of, being down LaQuinn Allen for a while. And defensively, I mean, I don't need to see anything out of Hines Allen, Trayvon Walker, Foye Oluokun, Travis Hunter, Eric Murray. So, I mean, the vast majority of the guys I would not play. So, like I said, I don't know that it'd be 31, but I'd probably be in the mid-20s in terms of guys that, I wouldn't take the chance of dealing with more attrition.
Hey, we'll see what they do on that front, but give us some observations from what you saw yesterday. Apparently the offense had a really good day. Did that jibe with your viewing of it?
It jogged with what my ears heard because I was watching the Jaguar defense the whole time, and it was a great crowd. I mean, it was probably the most raucous environment that I've ever seen in a Jaguar open practice, and so the defense got off to a great start. I mean, Josh Hines Allen was dominant from the first play on in terms of stuffing the run, getting pressure. Ventrell Miller, Antonio Johnson, Jalen Husky really showed up with some physical hits. They weren't tackling to the ground, but they shoulder thudded some guys and sent them flying about 3 or 4 feet. And to the point where I thought the Panthers player might kind of jump up and try and start something. To their credit, they just sort of, popped up and said, hey, good hit, and practice moved on. But I was impressed with the Jaguar defense. They had one coverage bust that I saw where a tight end got open on a wheel route and for a touchdown. And Oluokun and Ransaw were the two players kind of looking at each other. So I'm going to assume that was on Ransaw just by, resume of the player. That may be unfair to Caleb Ransaw. Maybe it was on Oluokun, but if I had to bet, I would say it was probably more of a Caleb Ransaw issue. But other than that, defensively they played great. But while I'm watching the Jaguar defense, I keep hearing these roars and just constant roars. And, then obviously, the Jaguars tweet out the highlights yesterday on their social of Trevor throwing touchdown passes to Brenton Strange and Nate Borkircher and Jacoby Myers, back to back to back.
Yep.
So I thought it was a really good day. I thought the intensity was really strong. And, to me, if I'm Liam Cohen, my key guy showed me enough yesterday that I'm not playing them 48 hours later in a preseason game.
What, if anything, has changed on your projected 53-man roster since training camp began?
Let's see. Well, I guess let's start with injuries. Well, McCary, obviously, I'm worried about, is he going to be available at any point this year? So I'm curious to see if he gets, just IR'd before they have to make the cut, and that would obviously keep him out for the whole year. So if he makes the initial 53, then, that'll be a good sign that at least they believe at some point that he might be able to return. So that sort of complicates the offensive line situation. Jabari Muhammad's played great, so I think that, he was sort of the last corner in. I certainly would keep him on the 53. I thought Cameron and Williams, the two rookie receivers, were on the 53 going in. I think they've only strengthened that argument. I think they're locked. So it's probably more of like, what do they end up doing in terms of, like, I would have kept, 4 running backs probably going into camp if, so now you pretty much have to keep 4 because, LaQuinn Quinn Allen's going to make the initial 53, and then we'll see if he has to get put on, short-term IR, or if he's going to be able to just, hopefully he won't miss any time. But, so I think in terms of running backs, obviously Rodriguez, Tootin, Allen, and with Allen's injury, you're probably now definitely keeping a fourth, which I would assume would be Abdullah.
Yeah, I think he's earned that fourth spot. At least he'd be the guy, if you get him the practice squad, I would assume that they would sign for, bringing him up for that week, because I think he fits that LaQuint Allen role better than the other options that they would have there. Hayes, Parker Washington, banged up for now. They say he'll return next week. Undisclosed injury. Let's assume he does return next week and he's fine, and there are no injury issues with any of the top receiving options on this team. If that's the case, can Austin Trammell make the 53, or would that require somebody being hurt ahead of him?
I would think it would require somebody being hurt. But Trammell is, he's a steady, reliable player. He's had a good camp. So, I'm sure that, he'll have his champions in the room when they're deciding the fate of the 53. But I think in looking at it now, because of the depth they have, like in the secondary and so forth, and, with the offensive line issues, now I'd probably want to keep 10 at a minimum. So, you got to find room somewhere else. So, because I can count Travis Hunter at corner, I'd probably keep 5 receivers, which would eliminate Trammell.
All right, fair enough. Hayes, enjoy the tour today. We'll be listening to your recollections of what you see on the Frangie Show over the next ensuing days. But appreciate you stopping by, as always, giving us a little camp update.
Yeah, always enjoy it. Thanks for having me.
All right, buddy. There he goes. Hayes Carlyon. We got him just before the tunnel absorbed him into the walls, Tony. I'm not quite sure where he was, but yeah, you're going in to check out the progress of what's coming along and see, look, again, there's going to be, I'm sure, some inconveniences getting into the stadium that you're not used to, because there are going to be different pedestrian paths that you're going to have to take. But I think overall, like, once you figure that out for the first time, it's not going to be that bad based on what I've seen down there. And you factor in the fact that there's probably 23,000 less people on game day. And, so there's going to be less congestion. Yeah, there are going to be fewer places to park and things like that. But I think it's going to be largely offset. Maybe it won't be. I don't know. That's just my impression of how it's going to go. I think it's going to be much ado about nothing, I hope, anyway, for Jaguar fans who are planning to take in any games this year at the bank. All right, when we come back, let's hear from Liam Cohen, what he had to say yesterday. We'll get to Trevor Lawrence along the way. If you want to talk a little Jaguar ball, you know the way to do it at 641-1010. Thanks to the Hammer, Hayes Carlyon, for joining us. You're listening to Jaguars Today. Keep it right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here. On September 2nd, DraftKings Game Day will arrive with massive deals, exclusive deals, and an all-day celebration for sports fans. The DraftKings Sports app is now live in every state, including right here in Florida. DraftKings Game Day is the kickoff of a new season, a new era even. Remember the date, September 2nd. New DraftKings customers sign up with code 1010XL, spend $5 to get $150 in rewards within 14 days. That's code 1010XL in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC-registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click-to-claim, issued in non-withdrawable predictions dollars that expire in 1 year. Ends August 23rd. Terms dkng.co/predictions promo. Nationwide based on sportsbook predictions, and free-to-play sports contest availability varies by state.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
Jaguars fans, grab your passport. Open and fund a new Everbank Performance account for your chance to win the Everbank London Getaway Experience. One winner gets round-trip airfare for 2, 4 nights hotel, and 2 tickets to the Jags game in London this October. Start your journey today at everbank.com/London. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the 50 United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry period from 6/29 to 8/27/26. Get official rules and details at everbank.com/London Rules. Sponsor and administrator, Everbank N.A. Member FDIC.
You're locked into Jaguars Today Thursday with Cannons of Jacksonville. Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
Order up. At Fair and Farah, people see the 5-star reviews. What they don't see is the prep, the investigators at the scene, the evidence we dig up, the depositions that get to the truth. When a client's been hurt in a crash, we build the case and we put pressure on the insurance company until they take it seriously. That's the system we've built at Fair and Farah. After 45 years, we're still hungry. Fair and Farah, still cooking.
Jacksonville. Hey, Florida homeowners. Are your electric bills through the roof? Your old windows and doors could be the problem. Renewal by Andersen offers superior energy-efficient solutions. For a limited time, buy 4 windows and doors, get the 5th free, plus 12-month special financing. Don't let another hot Florida summer drive up your energy bills. Upgrade your home's comfort, beauty, and energy efficiency with Renewal by Andersen. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation. Restrictions apply. License number CGC 1527613.
Credit card interest rates are now over 29%. Most people are only making the minimum payments, so they're getting nowhere. Hey, Prosser here, but here's what many homeowners don't realize. Using the equity in your home, you can easily access hundreds of thousands in cash. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can pay off your credit card, your existing HELOC, your car loans, or get money for that home improvement project. One client just got $100,000 approved and saved over $1,500 a month. Here's the best part. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone. With zero out-of-pocket, no hard credit pull up front, no appraisal, no long drawn-out bank process, and no touching your first mortgage. Rates are at a near 3-year low. Act now. Go to loanpronto.com. See how much you can get in about 60 seconds. Loan Pronto, 2,800 5-star Google reviews. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Storm season is here, and at JEA, we're on it. We work year-round to strengthen our electric, water, and sewer systems, making them more storm-resistant. Trees are trimmed around power lines to help reduce outages caused by falling debris. Plus, our online outage map and the MyJEA app make it easier than ever to report and monitor outages. So no matter what this storm season brings, we're ready to respond, restore, and keep you informed every step of the way. Learn more and see how you can prepare at JEA.com.
Make your outdoor living space one you're proud of with Sutherland Lawn and Landscape. From landscape design and outdoor living spaces to turf, lighting, irrigation, pavers, and complete residential and commercial maintenance, Sutherland brings your vision to life with quality craftsmanship and a team you can trust. Sutherland Lawn and Landscape, transforming outdoor spaces, elevating everyday living. Visit SUTHERLIN lawn.com today.
He used to lay the lumber on the field.
No, I'm not a quarterback, but I like eating quarterbacks for breakfast.
Now he lays his opinions on Jaguars Today. Tom McManus. Fridays on 1010XL. Opened by Renewal by Andersen Custom Windows and Doors.
This is Greg Huntington, a.k.a. The Mangler. I'm on the winning team at Waste Management. If your business needs sustainable environmental services for waste removal and recycling collection, then you can count on the industry leader of WM to deliver results. Go to WM.com/Duval.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, more Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
I want to dig into this offensive line stuff here, Tony, for the Jaguars a little bit. By the way, to be fair, I'm not, yesterday we got a caller right off the bat. Why are you so negative about Daniel Falele coming in, right? And it's not that I'm negative. I'm just not, impressed by a guy who's the only coach who's ever had him, signed him this offseason, is willing to ship him off for a late pick.
Yeah.
But I'll say this, to be fair, give credit where it's due. SI, I think it was, did a trade grade on it, gave the Giants a C+, which I'm surprised, honestly, because so many people were like, man, they signed this guy for basically veteran minimum, and they got a 6th-round pick, not even a 7th, got a 6th-round pick out of him. A guy who wasn't going to start for them. At best was going to be their swing guard,
right?
Is the way they looked at it. According to Patricia Traina of Sports Illustrated, got absolutely abused in the preseason game the other day. Completely whiffed. How do you whiff on a block as a guard?
Yeah, it's tough.
Not even make contact with a guy, right? So it wasn't good, but the Jags have a little bit of desperation going on. So I figured, well, the Jags will get like a C minus grade. They gave him an A minus for the deal. I was like, wow. Okay. Look, I hope he never plays, right? He's going to play tomorrow, but I hope he never plays when it matters for the Jags. Just like I hope if Wyatt Milam doesn't win the starting job to open the season, I hope he never plays too, unless he absolutely forces his way onto the field, right? Once we determine who the best 5 are, let's roll with those guys.
Yeah. I did see that the trade here doesn't affect the Jaguars' ability to pick up the pick that they're going to get in the draft next year on the Newsome deal. Right?
Why would it? Yeah.
Yeah, with the Giants sign him, so it doesn't affect that formula at all for next year, them making the trade. Like, the player doesn't qualify to affect it because of the essence of the trade. So, like, they're basically sending the 6th-round pick that they're going to get for the Newsome thing is kind of the way that it feels.
They're sending their 6th-round pick, is my understanding, right? Because those compensatory picks haven't been assigned, so you can't trade a hypothetical compensatory pick.
No, but they still have a 6th-round pick next year.
Well, my point being, they'll have a better 6th-round pick. Now, they would have had 2 6th-round picks, to be fair. But they're giving up theirs, which should be later in the 6th round, and the Newsome deal should provide them what we hope will be an early 6th round. You know how you help that one out? Win the opening game against the Cleveland Browns, smack them in the head, and get off to a good start.
Sure.
That is one I feel like if the Jags are going to win the division this year, and a lot of football to be played, a lot of funny things can happen.
And it is a disaster up there right now
in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but Tony, I felt that way the last time Deshaun Watson rolled in. And they mucked it up enough, and the Jags couldn't do anything offensively, and the Browns came in and beat the Jags.
They did.
Watson threw for less than 200 yards, but he ran for a touchdown.
It's the NFL. Nothing's guaranteed.
Right, nothing's guaranteed, but that is one that you've got to put in the win column for this football team, because then it starts getting real in a hurry with that schedule. All right, let's do this to stay on time. Take a quick timeout. Come back. We're going to hear Liam Cohen weighing in on the trade for Daniel Fa'alele, talking about what the run game did yesterday and the challenge he made to his team to be more physical than what he saw last week against the New Orleans Saints, particularly in that joint practice. That's coming up next. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Jared Justice in for RJ Saunders. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. In your car, at home, or on your phone, radio play-by-play is where you are.
What a game for the Jacksonville defense.
1010XL, Jacksonville's home for play-by-play.
Welcome to Key Buick GMC, proudly family-owned and operated since 1943. Come see why they're North Florida's new and pre-owned truck center, conveniently located on Southside and JTB, just minutes from the St. John's Town Center. At Key Buick GMC, every new vehicle comes with our lifetime powertrain warranty. Key Buick GMC, we are professional grade. Online at keybuickgmc.com. Lifetime powertrain warranty covers engine, transmission, drivetrain only. Exclusions apply. See dealer for details.
Jaguars Today Thursday is hitched to Cannons of Jacksonville for all your towing needs.
Call a timeout for the new Smoke and Honey Melts at Firehouse Subs. Choose flame-seared shaved steak or grilled chicken breast, peppers, caramelized onions, melted provolone, chipotle honey dressing, and mayo. All on a toasted sub roll, only at Firehouse Subs.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Frangie. This housing market's choppy right now. Everybody feels it. But I'm Jacksonville born and raised, and when I find people who actually know how to navigate it, I pay attention. Well, that's Chad and Sandy. You need to sell now? Chad and Sandy have instant offers, fast, easy, and stress-free. Need max price? Their science-based Market Max system is a proven, repeatable system guaranteed to sell your home for maximum price. Ask Maria in St. John's. 2 different agents had already failed to sell her home over several months. She heard Chad and Sandy on the radio, called, and their team finally took the time to explain the process. Her home sold in 21 days for 99% of asking price. Chad and Sandy are the local real estate experts. Using their proprietary Market Max system, Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they'll buy it. No required repairs, pick up your own move date, no long-term contract. Call Chad and Sandy, 904-414-6200, or go to chadandsandy.com.
This summer, Hard Rock Bet has the hottest baseball betting odds in Florida. Vig, juice, fee, whatever you call it, we're cutting it. It's the 10-cent summer sale. That's flat 10-cent lines for winner, spread, and over-under pregame bets. Same bets, better odds. This August, only on Hard Rock Bet.
Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Valid for moneyline, spread and over, under pregame markets with odds between -250 and +250 only. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
Jaguars Today Thursday is towed by Cannons of Jacksonville.
Attention men and women. If you'd like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-4477. Hairforme.com.
Beer, water, beer. That's a pretty good game plan when it comes to battling the summer heat. When you hit the beach, fishing hole, or golf course, make sure you hydrate. Anheuser-Busch is always up for a good time. Just remember to drink responsibly.
Find out what Pete Prisco's paying attention to.
That's a very good idea.
CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco joins the Frangie Show.
We're gonna have a good time together.
Thursdays on 1010XL. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
Looking for an engagement ring that doesn't look like everyone else's?
Not every woman wants a cookie cutter ring that you find in every jewelry store around town.
Meet Ben Lupo, second generation owner at Beard's Diamonds, who says a lot of couples come in today looking for something different, even a custom design ring. They come in with pictures or drawings, or sometimes they combine things they like from several rings into a one-of-a-kind creation.
We can really kind of put all of those notes into one piece and show her her creation. If she likes it, we move forward. If not, we can change it however many times to make sure that we get it correct for her.
And here's the best part. Custom design rings at Beard's usually don't cost any extra.
You really have that ability to fully customize your ring without spending a ton of dollars as opposed to just buying something right out of the case.
So don't settle for a chain store cookie cutter ring. Come to Beard's for all the top designer rings, and where you can also create that one-of-a-kind treasure.
You get the ability to customize your ring and put your stamp on it however you want.
Beard's Diamonds in the St. John's Town Center. Online at beardsdiamonds.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, let's dig into a little bit from what Liam Cohen had to say. No media availability for the Jags today. Of course, they're playing tomorrow night, the preseason home opener. Tickets, I imagine, still available. They were a couple of days ago. 633-2000. You're welcome, Jaguars. As Liam Cohen talking yesterday was asked about what prompted the trade for offensive lineman Daniel Faalele.
Continuing to bring depth and guys that have played meaningful reps in this league. That's something that you can't have enough of. We came into the camp with 16 and got down to about 9 the other day. And so when you have some of those things occur and you want to continue to find, guys that have done it, guys that have played in this league at a high level, he's got some big size, and I'm looking forward to get to know him, but the experience is really what matters.
Well, he has plenty of experience, but there are a lot of experienced offensive linemen on the free agent market right now that played last year. Now, that doesn't mean they're necessarily in kind of camp shape, right? And we know he's been in a training camp with the Giants. And, the raw numbers of his effectiveness, if you believe those assessments and grades on offensive linemen, put him close, maybe just a cut below Patrick McCary. So if you're like, all right, we got, for a 6th-round pick, we can get a McCary-level impact. Okay, fine. Makes me wonder then why'd you pay all that money to McCary if you could get a McCary-level impact for $1.5 million or thereabouts. So,
or you expected more and it didn't.
Maybe so,
ship
right?
With him, yeah.
Yeah, and I understand they like his versality and things like that. Faalele can play in multiple spots on the line too. Can certainly play both guard spots, and he's big enough to engulf you as a tackle. And again, hopefully that's all it amounts to is depth. But Tone, if you're giving up a 6th-round pick on August 19th, yesterday's date, He's on the team.
Yeah.
There's no question he's on the football team.
Yeah, and I think, part of that comment there where he's talking about, we started with 16 and we were down to 9. At one point, it explains why they were willing to make a trade for a player that's playing right now, right? Like, it makes more sense with the situation that they're in than, okay, go pick up a guy off the street and we'll see what we can get out of him in 3 weeks. It's like, no, they kind of need a body right now. It's when the Jaguars need it. He needs to be able to get on the field and help them a little bit right now. So it makes
do the
sense.
Giants not blink if you just say, no, 7th or nothing? You can have a 7th round.
Who knows?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess they'd probably tried it.
Yeah.
But I feel like that was, again, 6th rounder. Most 6th rounders are not that consequential, but then there's Parker Washington, right?
Sure.
So, you hate to give up anything if you don't have to, but that's why you stockpile a lot of these late picks, because when you do need to make a move, it gives you the flexibility to go out there and get a guy.
I mean, the Jaguars seem to like both the 6th-round wide receivers they got.
No doubt.
Like this year, it's not like it's nothing. So they were willing to give up something to do it. And Coach explained kind of the mindset behind why they're willing to do it right now to make that kind of deal. We heard a lot of the reports from the practice yesterday. Bashal Tutin, maybe the best practice he's had this year, from some reporters saying that was the best practice they've seen Tutin have, since they've been able to see him out there. And Coach was asked about not just that, but the run game and kind of the direction that he feels like it might be going right now for the football team.
Today was a good step in the right direction in terms of running the football and getting stuff targeted and communicated the right way. I was pleased with the way the backs were hitting the holes. Still tough to evaluate the second and third level, like what the yards actually come out to be. But I was pleased with at least the line of scrimmage at times. They've got some guys up front that I have a lot of respect for on their D-line, and I thought our guys played hard.
All right, well, I think Trevor Lawrence echoed that. We'll hear from him coming up in hour number 2, but they needed to respond a little bit on the line of scrimmage, Tony. And, again, it wasn't just Ezra Cleveland. I heard Anton Harrison didn't exactly distinguish himself against the New Orleans Saints last week. So Liam Cohen said he challenged his team coming out of last week to be more physical.
That's kind of what we challenged them with a little bit, to come out and set a tone and come out and play fast instead of, all right, we got to get punched in the mouth and then we respond. So that was nice to see us be able to come out and start fast.
All right, well, good for them. And, I hear Hayes Carlyon saying he doesn't think Emmanuel Pregnon has a starting spot locked up. I'd be shocked, Tony, honestly. And I know it was a rapid ascent, but he went out there and he gave you, if you say, what is Emmanuel Pregnon? He's a road grader. He's a guy who's going to, toss guys around on occasion. Man, does that mean he'll get beat? Sometimes he probably will.
Yeah.
But he was just using his physicality. I mean, and against grown men, and even grown men who aren't going to be on the New Orleans Saints team, he was ragdolling a few of those guys. Many thought he had the best game of any player at any position. Added this physical element. Liam Cohen has challenged his team to be more physical. Emmanuel Pregnon responds. I can't imagine. You're telling me a guy who graded out as maybe the best player on the field for the team, and granted, a lot of the starters weren't there. You're telling me that there are going to be 5 linemen that are better than Emmanuel Pregnon, ready to go week 1 against Cleveland? I would be very surprised.
Yeah, not with the numbers they have available to him right now. Maybe whenever, like if they could announce in 2 days that Cole Van Lanen's good enough to get back in practice, maybe some of the math on some of these things change, because now maybe the competition there gets ratcheted up, maybe between Ezra and Pregnon there at left guard a little bit, if some things are moving around, but we don't know when the Van Lanen thing's going to happen. It appears that Emmanuel Pregnon, what else can he do except what he's doing at this point? And if he's going to remain that impressive, he's one of the few guys that when we're talking about, how much is Trevor going to play tomorrow? Like, I look at it and go, let him have the whole half. Like, that's the way that I feel about Pregnon. It's like, get him as many snaps as you possibly can. And I think him playing that much tomorrow probably would be a pretty strong indicator of, we need him week 1. Right? Like, we need him to get as much experience as we can. in everything we need him to do. He's getting every snap in the first half tomorrow, and it's going to be a left guard, right? Like, if they handle it that way, I think that's a really strong indicator that this is the guy they want starting there against Cleveland.
And granted, I'm not saying Hayes is crazy. Hayes is down there every day, right? He's got his opinions. We're all entitled to them. And maybe they determine that Ezra is better. And maybe it's just that they're putting Pregnon there and moving Ezra because, I know it's because they don't want to move Pregnon around. I mean,
they need to know if they can move Ezra. Yeah.
Right. Pregnon, he's a rookie. Let him focus on one position, and that's exactly what they're doing with him. Now you say, well, they didn't do that with Travis Hunter. Well, that was a whole different set of circumstances. Him coming in as a two-way player. Somebody on the text line here, designed by Lifetime Enclosure, said, very troubling. Someone on this supposedly deep offensive line couldn't beat out McCary. It is troubling to me that Milam couldn't grab that job and be the assumed starter at the right guard position, right? That's disappointing to me. But even if you say, you know what, McCary, let's say Ezra Cleveland did beat him out. Let's say Pregnon wins the left guard job, Ezra Cleveland beats him out. You don't have McCary right now. That's the point. And when, Faalele is depth. That's the word that they use. They're not trading a 6th-rounder to have him come in here and play right away. He could, if necessary, because he is, in football shape, and he has started basically every game for the last 2 years he did for the Baltimore Ravens. But this is more about, okay, if we get beyond our frontline guys to, all right, we've got Anton Harrison, we got Pregnon, we got Hainsey, let's say Cleveland and Walker Little on the other side. And that's assuming Cole Van Lanen is not ready to start the season. Okay, so you got Monheim, you got Milam behind them. That would assume in that scenario, Van Lanen's not available. McCary might not be available. Who's your 8th guy? Maybe Chuma Adoga. Okay,
Maybe.
But if you're going to have 9, and you would want 9 at least available, even if you only had 8 active on game day, Faalele slides right in there.
And the numbers are what they are.
When McCary comes back, when he's cleared to go, things may change down the line. But like you said, they need something now, and they went out and got it, and they determined it's the best that they could get.
Yeah, I watched all the other names that are on the roster right now playing offensive line last week and went, no. Like, none of these guys need to play.
They were bad. Yeah, some of those guys were bad, and they looked bad in practice as well. I don't want to, without singling out any of them, we all know the names, of the guys. If you've been following the Jags throughout training camp, whether it's Jaron Christian or Sam Mustipher or Ricky Lee or any of these guys, I've got no interest. Jimto Obadegwu.
No.
Saw a lot of him at right tackle. That's all I need to see of him at right tackle. Now, good luck, Carter Bradley and Joey Aguilar and whoever's playing behind those guys in the second half. We hope for your good health as well. But that leads right into the question of the day. How much you want to see Trevor Lawrence play? We'll discuss that. Let's hear from the quarterback of the Jags when we kick off hour number 2 of Jaguars Today. Straight ahead. Keep it right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today for the renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Jaguars football lives here.
Listen, we sticking together.
1010XL.
Jeff Pryor, president of Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring.
And I'm Nikki Sema. My dad started in business when I was just 4 years old, and now we're 35 years and 20,000 satisfied customers in, and literally have a showroom in every neighborhood.
So whether you're looking to revitalize your home with new flooring or need more outdoor living space with a glass or screen enclosure, we've got you covered.
Visit our websites and don't forget to stop by our showrooms during our open house and cookout this Saturday from 10 to 3. Come see affordable luxury, experience the Lifetime difference, and receive additional open house discounts.
We have bigger rolls of carpet, hardwood too, laminates, hot area rocks for you. At the Carpet Man, at the Carpet Man. Our prices are low, 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 low. At the Carpet Man, at the Carpet Man. Don't delay, we'll put it in next day. At the Carpet Man, at the Carpet Man. Y'all don't see us now, you hear? At the Carpet Man, at the Carpet Man.
Visit one of our mega flooring stores or go to carpetman.biz or
call 838-6705. The Carpet Man.
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation? From a real person? Good luck. That is what's so nice about Mike Merritt's Heating and Air. Unlike publicly traded conglomerates with headquarters in faraway cities, Mike Merritt's Heating and Air remains family-owned and operated by Mike, your neighbor. Mike Merritt has delivered hometown service, integrity, and pricing for generations. The big guys incentivize their techs to sell you new equipment. Mike's team emphasizes repair first. We only sell you equipment if your current equipment is worn out and beyond repair. And let's be honest about price. Small operations without much overhead can sometimes lowball your job, but you can't trust just anyone with a truck. They may be here today and gone tomorrow. Mike Merritt has been keeping North Florida cool for more than 3 decades. That's experience and dedication you can count on. Call today or see us on the web.
Florida license number CAC 050384. It's about to get real. Training camp is on. Listen to 1010XL throughout the day for all the details and analysis of the passes, runs, and defensive performances. 1010XL's coverage of training camp is brought to you by Green Acres Sporting Goods.
Jaguars Today, Thursday.
Brought to you by Cannons of Jacksonville. Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach. When he speaks, QBs listen. If you like quarterback talk, get an earful with a quarterback whisperer, Denny Thompson. He shares his insights Friday mornings on The Drill. Tuned up by Encore Research Group and George Moore Chevrolet on 1010XL.
This is your 1010XL local sports update, sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Former Jag and NFL analyst Bucky Brooks commented on winning preseason games.
We're winning because the execution is great, the effort is great. We're playing with the level of physicality and toughness that you want to see. Then you feel great about it.
4-run Jacksonville 6 flip the script as the Jumbo Shrimp edge Memphis on the road. Rematches this evening at 7:45. That's your 1010XL local sports update. I'm Sam Nelson.
It's 87 degrees at 11 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Aaron Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, tight split right now on our Chad and Sandy Real Estate Question of the Day poll. We invite you to vote at MD_1010XL on X. Do you want quarterback Trevor Lawrence to play in the Jaguars preseason game versus the Panthers tomorrow? The options are not even a little bit, pulling about 42.5%. Maybe a series pulling in about 42%. Tony, is that close? Couple of votes may sway it. Liam Cohen's going to look at this as his final determiner as to whether or not Trevor's going to play. So vote accordingly, people.
Vote your conscience,
vote
people.
as if Trevor's health depends on it. Okay, I'm kidding, of course. Give him a quarter. People are 15% of people, and at least a half. Only got a couple of votes on that one.
Bananas.
Hey, look, it's God bless America,
man.
Tony. We're all entitled to our opinions.
You just want to torture the guy, like put him out there for a half, like that's what that feels like to me. But okay.
It was, back in the day. Wasn't that long ago. That was just, it was 1 or 2 series, then it was a quarter, then it was into the second half. Because that was the big thing. How are they going to adjust after
you gotta
getting
get
cold?
used
You got to
to
come
coming
back
out of
out
the locker
again
room
and
and
warm back up.
All
And
right.
it was such a big deal. All right.
First time these guys have ever played football. It's
Correct.
tough.
We'll get to what Trevor Lawrence had to say after practice yesterday, but first, Tony Smith will take us around the NFL.
Now, gems around the NFL. Brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
Houston wide receiver Jaden Higgins will miss the 2026 season after suffering a torn ACL during their joint practice against the Raiders on Tuesday. Houston has also reportedly already announced that none of their starters will be playing in their preseason game tonight against the LA Chargers. Indianapolis tight end Tyler Warren suffered a groin injury during practice yesterday. Tennessee signed running back Dearness Johnson and cut running back Dominic Richardson. New Orleans running back Alvin Kamara is expected to miss at least the next month after suffering an MCL sprain in practice on Tuesday. Baltimore center Danny Pinter, who was in a battle for the team's starting center job, and the reports about the injury, was carted off the practice field yesterday there in Baltimore. Seattle is signing corner Trayvon Diggs to a 1-year deal. Tampa has agreed to a new deal with defensive tackle Vita Vea, which will add $6 million to his money this season and a guaranteed $30 million in the added year next year on that contract.
That sounds like we shopped him. We didn't get what we wanted for him.
Yeah.
And here's $30 million. Please be quiet and shut down opposing running games.
That's
now,
kind of the deal. Yeah.
And it is what it is, man. It's a great world to be in, Tony. I think if you and I decided to hold out or in from Jaguars today, I don't think we'd be getting a $30 million extension.
No.
Is my guess. So be it. All right, we're going to hear from Trevor here coming up right now. As a matter of fact, he was listed as one of John Shipley's winners out at practice today. Had a particularly good run at it in red zone. So let's hear a couple of thoughts from the Jaguars quarterback who said they got a lot out of their work yesterday.
I felt like we got a lot out of today, yeah. I felt like it was really productive. Was it perfectly clean? No. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to work on, and we got to improve on. I got to improve on. But as far as just the competition, the competitiveness, the back and forth, I mean, that always feels game-like, the ebbs and flows, where you get some momentum, and then the defense, they make a couple plays, then you got to steady it out and get back on track. And I thought we did a good job of that today. Just got to find some more consistency, limit some of the penalties, some of the negative plays. Obviously, I had the one turnover, so there's a couple things that we need to work on just to be consistently better, but I thought there was a lot of great things. I thought we ran it really, really well, and we made some big plays in the passing game too.
Look, if you're turning it over because you're making aggressive plays downfield, that's fine. If you're turning it over, and taking away red zone opportunities to score or handing the ball, it's those red zone turnovers on both ends that kill you, I think. And if you're offsetting it with 3 touchdowns produced, rushing, passing, whatever from the quarterback, Tony,
right,
you can live with some turnovers. You can live, I don't want to see the sloppy ball security, sack fumble issues, because those are much more controllable. Sometimes you're trying to make a play and the other guys who make a lot of money are going to make a play as well. Generally, the reporting was yesterday the offense looked overwhelmingly positive, particularly early in the practice. Yeah. And wanted to hear that from Trevor and company.
And we heard from Hayes in the first hour as well. He was watching more the defensive side, but that's the way things were being reported yesterday. It felt to me like the defensive line was having a day, right? It's the way that it felt, and it matched what Hayes saw out there at practice. Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker were getting the job done, right? Like they were in the backfield all day. I saw like a few of the touchdowns that Carolina had, and after virtually every one of them that got reported, it's like probably would have been a sack. Right, like there was a lot of that kind of thing going on for the football team yesterday. Trevor Lawrence yesterday was also asked about, look, it's year 2 for him in Liam Cohen's scheme. We know they haven't changed the offensive coordinator, so Grant Udinski's still there in his ear as well when they're trying to put all this stuff together. And he was asked how satisfied he is with what's happening with the scheme and game planning for the Jaguars right now.
Yeah, I mean, satisfied is I'm not satisfied with necessarily where we're at, but where we're heading. I really believe that we're getting better. I think we were a lot better today than we were last week when we went against the Saints. I thought we had a lot more energy. We got after it. I thought just brought the juice every play. We ran it really good. We were really physical. So there were some big improvements, but football is there's such a fine line. There's so many details. So I think that there's going to be plenty on the tape to learn from. And I know, I need to get better. So it's not necessarily satisfied, but definitely believing. And I know that these guys, all our guys out here are getting better every day. And that's what we're working towards.
All right. I want to triple check to make sure that this is accurate before I pass this along, Tony, but I just saw a very, very interesting tweet somebody put in front of us from Ian Rappaport. I just want to go to his official account before I, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to.
Before you get done.
I don't want to quote it without it being accurate. So let me scroll along here. Here we go. 2 minutes ago from Ian Rappaport of.
That's his account.
NFL Network /ESPN now. Sources. The Jaguars are getting healthy on the offensive line. Why didn't we just wait a day? Why didn't we wait one day? The Jags are getting healthy on the offensive line as Cole Van Lanen is coming off the PUP list today.
That's fantastic.
Having passed his physical, he injured his knee in Week 18. He is now set to return to the field.
I doubt that'll be tomorrow. But
I would think it will not be tomorrow, but that if he is returning off the PUP list, then you can presume he's got enough time to be ready to go. 3 weeks should be enough time,
Get some work
believe.
next week against the Bucs.
Because it's not like he's been sitting on his butt crack, man. He's been running around. We see him out there working, and it's tough to judge. A guy who looks like he's moving well, to my untrained eye, clearly wasn't moving well enough for the last few weeks to be out there and get cleared for practice.
Well, and it's been stated kind of around this way for a while with the Cole Van Landen thing. How much time is he going to need on the field before you feel comfortable with him going against Cleveland? And, in my head the whole time it was, I would like for him to be back on the field for the Bucs week, right? Like, that's kind of where I was in my head. It's like, that's where I would find some comfort in what's going to be happening with Cole in week one is if he can get on the field for, a couple of weeks of practice at least.
Some of it. I don't know if I want to expose him to two
Not the
full
whole
joint
thing.
practices.
No, he doesn't have to do the whole thing. You don't need him to do the whole thing. But him being available to do any of that work and actually take on whatever that's going to mean, whatever limited snaps you want to do as you're trying to get him back into it. I want those limited snaps to come next week as opposed to, okay, we got a week of practice, go punch him, everybody, right? Like that kind of thing. It felt like in my mind they needed that week of him being on the field against an opponent, right? It made sense, even if it is really limited, whatever they ask him to do in practice next week against the Bucs, and we'll see exactly what it looks like. But that's fantastic news for Cole Van Landen, who that's been the big kind of question. It's like, what's happening on the Jaguars offensive line? Well, when's Cole going to be back? Right? And it feels like that is a very positive step in the direction of he's going to play against Cleveland.
Huge news right there. I wonder what today's golden moment will turn out to be. Let's get Omar up before we hit the break. I want to talk about Fa'alele joining the team. Omar, good morning.
Wow, this news with Cole Van Landen just blows me up. I'm really excited. I was wondering if Daniel Fa'alele is going to be able to, join the team today. Did he pass his physical? Is he in Jacksonville? But then it was a segue to, I think that Trevor should start. I really do. And the reason why we can go cover 12 and now Cole Van Landen is back, was he hurt or was he injured? That's something that Rick Ballou talks about. And I'm just wondering that he's probably coming in today to stage Trevor starting tomorrow, which we need to work on our cover 12 or cover 13. We need to work on screens. We need to work on passes to the running backs. And like Trevor said, iron sharpens iron. And the only new piece to the puzzle on the offensive line right now is Emmanuel Pregnon, who's rocking. So why not start Trevor and Duval?
All right. Thank you, Omar. Duval. I don't want to leave that unanswered. Look, again, you're not playing Cole Van Landen tomorrow.
No.
Right? So if you presume he's your starting right tackle, then Walker Little right now is a new piece. I mean, not that he's new to the team.
No.
But he's not the preferred option at that spot. We don't know if Ezra Cleveland's going to win the right guard job, but I would say that it's going to come down to a competition now if Cole Van Landen can get cleared for the season between Walker Little and Ezra Cleveland for the last starting spot on the Jaguars offensive line. So, hey, that's why we asked for your opinion. Omar's like, throw him out there.
Yeah.
Let's work on that timing. And you know what? It's close to a 50-50 split, at least between the top two options in the poll right now. So, I don't know if Fa'alele, when he would have taken his physical, Tony. I haven't heard anything, but there's no indication to me that he wouldn't pass his physical. He's been playing.
Yeah.
For the Giants, right? So I'd be shocked if he didn't pass his physical. I mean, could you go, hey, Cole Van Landen's he's ready to come off the PUP list. He failed the physical with us, and we're gonna have to revert the trade. I don't think the Jags would do that. I think clearly the Jags knew that Cole Van Landen was on the brink of returning. Yeah. This is not surprising news to them.
No.
It is happy news to all of us. And if, again, you missed it a moment ago, Ian Rappaport putting out that according to sources, the Jags are getting Cole Van Landen off the PUP list today. He passed his physical, and he is set to return to the field. As we said, don't expect to see him tomorrow night, but will he be ready to go 3 weeks from now? Or maybe not. Maybe, Tony, they feel like in 3 weeks he's ready to be active, but we don't want to play him 65 snaps yet, and maybe it's Walker Little in the opener. I don't know. I'm just throwing out hypotheticals right there, but we're closer to having the guy back who they saw after a handful of starts as being worthy of a 3-year, $51 million extension.
Right.
So now, granted, I think he's going to be playing a different position than what initially they envisioned. But Jeff Logman said that he feels Cole Van Landen, I think he said Cole told him, feels more comfortable on the right side. So if that switch to Anton to the left is permanent, there you go. You've got some of these pieces starting to get figured out. Anton Harrison, I think it'll be Pregnon. I don't think there's any looking back there. Hainsey, for now, I expect to open the season, particularly if Pregnon is starting, because you've got an experienced center there that can kind of help him along. And maybe that changes. Maybe Monheim continues to push him throughout the process. Right guard is an open competition. I would consider it. And we're keeping the seat warm for Cole at right tackle right there. So, getting better on that front makes me feel a little bit better right now. Let's take a timeout. More from Trevor Lawrence and Liam Cohen on the other side. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for DraftKings. September 2nd is the date. DraftKings Game Day will arrive with massive deals, exclusive deals, and an all-day celebration for sports fans. The DraftKings Sports app is now live in all 50 states. That includes right here in FLA. DraftKings Game Day is the kickoff of a new season, a new era even. Remember the date, September 2nd. New DraftKings customers, you can sign up with code 1010XL, spend $5 to get $150 in rewards within 14 days. That's code 1010XL in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click to claim. Issued in non-withdrawable predictions dollars that expire in 1 year. Ends August 23rd. Terms dkng.co/predictions promo. Nationwide based on sportsbook predictions and free-to-play sports contest availability varies by state.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
Call a timeout for the new Smoke and Honey Melts at Firehouse Subs. Choose flame-seared shaved steak or grilled chicken breast, peppers, caramelized onions, melted provolone, chipotle, honey dressing, and mayo. All on a toasted sub roll, only at Firehouse Subs.
25 weeks comes down to this.
You ready?
3 wide under the lights. 0 margin for error. Everything on the line. Flirting with 200 miles per hour in the place where this journey began. Race 26, the final hunt for a spot in the chase. The Coke Zero Sugar 400 weekend at Daytona, August 28th through 29th. Get your tickets now at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
Looking for an engagement ring that doesn't look like everyone else's?
Not every woman wants a cookie cutter ring that you find in every jewelry store around town.
Meet Ben Lupo, second generation owner at Beard's Diamonds, who says a lot of couples come in today looking for something different, even a custom design ring. They come in with pictures or drawings, or sometimes they combine things they like from several rings into a one-of-a-kind creation.
We can really kind of put all of those notes into one piece and show her her creation. If she likes it, we move forward. If not, we can change it however many times to make sure that we get it correct for her.
And here's the best part. Custom design rings at Beard's usually don't cost any extra.
You really have that ability to fully customize your ring without spending a ton of dollars, as opposed to just buying something right out of the case.
So don't settle for a chain store cookie cutter ring. Come to Beard's for all the top designer rings, and where you can also create that one-of-a-kind treasure.
You get the ability to customize your ring and put your stamp on it however you want.
Beard's Diamonds in the St. John's Town Center. Online at beardsdiamonds.com.
Your Sporting Jacks women are back this Saturday at 7 at Hodges Stadium against the Tampa Bay Sun. It's always thirsty on the pitch, featuring $1 beer and $1 hot dogs. Meet the newest member of the Sporting Jacks family before the game Saturday at Hodges Stadium.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it.
Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of essentials. Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence Data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
1010XL, presented by Farrah and Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farrah doesn't flinch. Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Hey, so have we got away from the strict mood lighting environment in here?
I don't know.
I was watching, we got ESPN, we got the golf on in front of us, got a couple of things. I saw Mike Clay of ESPN up on TV, and he looked like we looked last week in a very darkened environment. I felt like he might be being interrogated right now. I'm not sure if he's there against his will. But regardless, I thought, and then I glanced over at what people are seeing on YouTube and X and everything, and I'm like, oh, it's much brighter in here. Then dummy me looked up and realized, oh, yeah, these fluorescents are
studio
on today.
lights are on,
yeah, so they've got the mood lighting combined with the studio lighting today, Tony. I think it's working a great effect.
Yeah, I think it's been the last couple days that's yesterday was the same thing. All the lights were on.
I'm a guy that doesn't pay much attention to
I
things
don't know if they've just decided that everything needs to be on. It's
Don't
like,
know.
all right, why'd we put these lights in? But okay.
I got, when I Zoom at home, we all Zoom on Sirius, so we can all see each other because nobody's in the same place.
Right.
And my lighting, I had the worst lighting. Like, I would not do a professional podcast from my setup at home. It's
Kind of like a lamp under your chin.
It's like what it is I don't have. I should just buy better lamps, right? But I've got like a couple of different position ones. We don't have an overhead light in there.
Right.
So what happens is when the screen is up, and if it's like a predominantly white background site, it just, my whole face is just washed out. And I look like I don't know exactly. Look like I've got an
You're holding
interrogator.
a flashlight in your face.
Yeah, something right under my chin, something along those lines. So anyway, there you go. That's 2 minutes of lighting information that you didn't know you could not live without. Let's get to Trevor Lawrence and Liam Cohen here. And Trevor, just picking up with the theme yesterday, Liam Cohen talked about challenging his guys to be more physical. And, someone said, hey, look, he kind of threw almost the negative carrot out there. What would be the negative carrot? It'd be the Brussels sprout, maybe, whatever. Like the carrot, you dangle the carrot, and that's supposed to be enticing. Don't know why they can't come up with something more enticing than a carrot. But regardless of well, we might have to play you on Friday night. You're not going to get to sit around and do whatever it is you do when you're wandering around on the sideline, not in uniform. So will you respond, and will you give me that effort and show me that I don't need to put you out there? Trevor Lawrence said yesterday along those lines, it was awesome to see the energy that both the offensive line and the running back room was bringing.
It's great. I mean, especially when you can run the ball, and that's such a momentum boost for your offense and for your team when you can run it and stay on schedule. And I thought we did a really good job of that. And not only just staying on schedule, we had a few really big runs that if we were playing full tackle, probably would have gone for 20, 30, maybe even scored on some of them. So that's huge. I think it's a testament to, one, our defense is really good against the run, so we're seeing that every day. And sometimes it's like running your head into a brick wall, and but you talk about all the little details and how important they are, because when you're playing a defense that's so stout against the run, all that stuff matters. And then today, when you come out with that intensity, all the details are on point, and you come off the ball, now we're seeing these creases hit a little bit more. So I think it's just that sharpening iron in practice that's really paying off. And we still got a lot of work to do, but it was much better run game today. It was awesome.
Or maybe Devin Lloyd just brings it out in them more than Travis Etienne does, right? They're like, there's Travis. It's fine. We love him, and we're going to show Devin Lloyd just how physical we can be. Of course, next week we've got the whole Bucks bitter dynamic. I don't know if any of those players think of it in that form.
I doubt it.
Right? There may be one or two, man. There's always somebody who's petty about something. Take it from me.
Sure.
I know that for a fact.
No doubt. We've heard here for the last couple days about the Ezra Cleveland thing, Anton, last week in practice, right? And into the Saints game and the way that they were playing. And it felt like the coach challenged him somehow this week, going into this week of preparation and into the practice yesterday against the Carolina Panthers. And Coach Cohen was asked about whatever conversation he may or may not have had with Ezra Cleveland yesterday after practice.
We had a good talk. I talked to Ezra for a while, and it's no secret, we're a little nicked up, and we need the guys that have set the tone for us and physically set a tone to do that now, right? Like, there's no, trust us and trust that, we kind of have I don't want to call it a sickness. Like we got a little bit of some guys banged up, but trust that, hey, the practice schedule, the way it's set up, like we're going to protect you and take care of you. But when we go, we got to go. And we needed him to take that step. I was very pleased with his energy and toughness today.
Yeah, the sickness thing, he's saying like sometimes it seems contagious, you know, when you get those injuries in a certain group. But Tony, the coach that publicly like told Trevor to put it on his chest, right? That he publicly said that Anton Harrison can go when he wants to, right? I don't think he had a T with Ezra Cleveland. You know what I mean? Like, I imagine this was more than just a gentle conversation.
You got to go.
There's a chewing that was involved in this.
We can't have this. You got to go.
Right. You're not on scholarship here. You know, got to earn your spot. In fact, your spot may have just been taken by you or by Emmanuel Pregnon because you didn't show the required physicality that we're looking for. So, look, I don't have any say over the final combination. So, in Liam Cohen's mind, maybe this is a motivating, scenario for Ezra Cleveland to keep Pregnon still at bay, potentially. I don't think it's going to go that way, but they did get the desired result, apparently, yesterday. So, all right, so you got Ezra bouncing back yesterday. Anton Harrison, also heard, didn't have his best showing against the New Orleans Saints in that joint practice. Trevor Lawrence, though, asked about what he has seen from him in general at left tackle.
Done a great job. I mean, those guys just bouncing around. Obviously, Anton's flip sides. Ezra's played both guards and some tackle, and he's moved around a lot. I think just showing that flexibility and versatility of those guys up front is really important. And guys it's the most selfless group in football. It really is. Those guys move everywhere, do whatever the team needs, even if it's not the most comfortable thing for them. And you don't hear any complaints about it. So I'm just happy those guys are able to do that for one, but willing to do it.
We know LaQuint Allen, based on the reporting, not going to be available for the rest of the preseason. We'll see what that means for week one. That's unclear. As of right now, for whatever's going on with LaQuint, we don't even know what the injury is, right? It's just we know he's not out there right now. He's been the primary third down back, right? Like primary third down back, so he is the guy that's picking up the blitzes, right, in the backfield at the running back position. We know the kind of attitude he brings into everything that he does there in the offensive backfield for the team. So there is a real pretty sizable role for somebody to need to be stepping into, right, with what they expect out of LaQuint Allen as that kind of third down back in the offense. And Trevor Lawrence was asked about that kind of situation yesterday, talking about the other running backs needing to step up with LaQuint not being available for now.
Other guys really got to step up. I mean, I feel like I've talked about him a lot with you guys, and you guys always ask kind of what's his deal? Why does everybody love the guy so much? And we've talked about just the energy. I mean, he knows his job. He plays with passion. The intensity, the love for the game, all those things. So it's hard to kind of match or replicate that. But as far as guys taking over that role, as far as protection stuff and third down and just knowing all the checks, and we got to step up. And I know those guys can do it, but it's got to happen. So we got to get everybody on board, and I know guys will be ready to do that, but definitely going to miss LaQuint for the next little bit.
It's a little cliche, maybe more than a little, but when you hear that expression, he's got that dog in him, right? If there's one guy that is the easy guy to ascribe that to on the Jaguars, it's LaQuint Allen.
It's like, what do you mean? It's like, watch LaQuint.
Watch him go get in Max Crosby's face. Watch him get in Jeffrey Simmons' face. Watch him get in anybody's face. He doesn't care. He is here to smack you in the mouth, tell you about it beforehand, during, and afterwards, and then let you know it's coming again. Now, that doesn't mean he's the greatest player in the National Football League, but he carries himself like there is nobody who's going to dictate to him physically anything that happens on the
whatever he
field.
Can offer, you're going to get. Right,
yes.
Like that. That's that kind of dog in a player. It's like, I will give you everything I have. Right, like that's the idea, that kind of thing.
DAWG.
LaQuint is that kind of player.
Who's the dog on Jaguars today? Is it you?
I don't know.
Tony gets a subject, and he won't let it go. All right, one last one here from Trevor Lawrence, which kind of goes right into the question of the day, which we will debate after the bottom of the hour. Trevor, what are your thoughts on playing in the joint practices versus playing in the preseason games?
The joint practices are really, really good just because they do feel more like a game necessarily than always going against your same team, and you get to see different looks and guys come in and just that competition. It feels a little bit more like a game, but obviously I'm not getting hit still, so that's the one part that's still not quite like a game. Still wearing a red jersey, but I think as far as the other 10 guys, we treated it as a game, and guys did a good job of taking care of business, and I thought, like I said, we did some really good things. So who knows? I'll let Coach make those decisions, and but I do think that we got the most out of today, and we got better.
Yeah, look, Trevor's that kind of guy. Like, hey, Coach says it. I'm running out there. This is what I'm going to do. He's not going to, go against the brain trust or what have you. But that aside, everyone's entitled to their opinion. Right. No matter what you think the Jags are going to do, what Liam Cohen is going to decide, what do you think the Jags should do when it comes to particularly Trevor Lawrence? That's our Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day. Do you want to see him play? Not at all, not even a little bit. You want to see him play maybe a drive or so, a quarter, give him a half. Those are your options in today's poll. We'll update that when we come back, and we'll give you our thoughts on it as well, as we're just past the bottom of the hour. You're listening to Jaguars Today. Tony Smith, Mike Dempsey, and Jared Justice in for RJ Saunders today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
For the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. 1010XL.
The Kings of the Swamp.
Ball's loose at the 38. Gators got it. Wow.
This is Gators head football coach John Summerall. Join Sean Kelly and our broadcast crew as they bring you Gators football all season long.
On Jacksonville's home of Florida Gators football. 1010XL.
Your bathroom doesn't have to be completely remodeled to make a big difference. Sometimes all it takes is one easy upgrade, like a custom glass shower door from Capital Glass and Shower Doors. A new shower door can transform your bathroom with a clean, modern, completely new look. From the initial design through the final installation, Capital Glass delivers a high quality and a best-in-class experience. Stop by their new showroom in St. Augustine near the Outlet Mall or visit capcoglass.com. CAPCO glass.com.
You're locked in to Jaguars Today Thursday with
Cannons of Jacksonville.
Renovations are underway at the golf club at Southampton, but that doesn't mean you still can't come out and hone your game. The practice facility is open Tuesday through Sunday with a great membership offer to work on your game year-round. Log on to golfsouthampton.com or check out their Facebook page. Work on your tee game, iron play, shots around the green, and of course your putting. It's all there and a great way to stay fresh until they unveil fresh new greens in October. Check it all out at the golf club at Southampton. Call 287-PLAY.
You know, it's funny. Most of us don't think about our water heater until it's too late. So here's a little bonus from our friends at Duck Duck Rooter. During August, when you schedule any plumbing service, they'll include a free water heater inspection while they're already at your home. No pressure, no gimmicks, just honest advice from a company that's built its reputation on doing things the right way. That's the Duck Duck standard. When you're stuck, call Duck Duck Rooter, 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
I-9 Sports is year-round. Fun for kids 3 and up. From North Jacksonville to Fleming Island, Neptune Beach to Orange Park, I-9 Sports makes it convenient for you with their 1-day-per-week commitment with practice before the game. It's easy to fit it into your schedule. Log on to i9sports.com and register now for fall and winter. Flag football, hoops, baseball, soccer, volleyball, and multi-sport. There's something for every youngster in North Florida. Fall and winter registration open right now at i9sports.com. Enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey ham, melted cheddar and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The experts at AMCO have been fixing cars for almost 60 years. Over that time, they've gotten more complex than ever. That's why our techs undergo rigorous training and certifications, so they can fix anything, including the most complicated repairs that come with some of the latest technologies. After 60 years, there's nothing we haven't seen or fixed. It's how we know cars inside and out.
Money tight?
We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
What defines a hero? Dedication, loyalty, courage. Every day at AMCO, we serve heroes. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. From complex transmissions to simple brake jobs with flexible financing and the extra safety precautions we need. The heroes we serve don't all wear uniforms. They're people like you. At AMCO, we're proud to serve all of you. AA MCO.
Family owned and operated in Jacksonville, Orange Park, St. Augustine, and St. Mary's, Georgia.
Summer's winding down, and we know you want to enjoy what's left of it. But before you celebrate this Labor Day weekend, plan ahead and know all your options. If you drink, don't get behind the wheel. Instead, designate a sober driver or catch a ride service. And if you are the designated sober driver, commit to staying sober. Celebrate responsibly and remember to drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by the Florida Department of Transportation.
Credit card interest rates are now over 29%. Most people are only making the minimum payments, so they're getting nowhere. Hey, Prosser here, but here's what many homeowners don't realize. Using the equity in your home, you can easily access hundreds of thousands in cash. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can pay off your credit cards, your existing HELOC, your car loans, or get money for that home improvement project. One client just got $100,000 approved and saved over $1,500 a month. Here's the best part. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone. With zero out-of-pocket, no hard credit pull up front, no appraisal, no long, drawn-out bank process, and no touching your first mortgage. Rates are at a near 3-year low. Act now. Go to loanpronto.com. See how much you can get in about 60 seconds. Loan Pronto, 2,800 5-star Google reviews. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
I mean, is there any question what today's golden moment is going to be now that we've heard the news from Ian Rappaport about 30 minutes ago? Tweeting out that the Jags are getting healthy on the offensive line. When's the last time you heard that? As Cole Van Lanen is coming off the physically unable to perform list today, having passed his physical after injuring his knee at the end of last season. He is now set to return to the field. He's been working off to the side, as we all know, or you know if you've been following along with the reporting, or if you've been out there to any of those open practices, that, you know, they haven't been babying him either, Tony. He's been going hard. You know, he's running like full speed sprints with like the resistance belt on, you know, and a lot of lateral stuff. Now, does that mean he's in game shape? No, he's probably far from game shape. Is 3 weeks enough to get you into game shape? I think it's possible. I think it's possible we see Cole Van Lanen open the season as one of your starting offensive linemen. Obviously, likely to be the right tackle, it seems, at this point in time. You know, I wonder if Longman's right and Van Lanen prefers the right side, then there's no question. And it almost makes you wonder why it took this long for this combination to be tried, right, with Anton Harrison. But no doubt Cole Van Lanen getting healthy is today's golden moment for today. So, you know, that's some positivity. Doesn't mean the Jags are definitively winning the Super Bowl this year, but it's a step in the right direction. Right?
With all the conversations that we've had the last couple of weeks around the offensive line, to be getting Cole Van Lanen back, like now we know he's back. Right. And
he'll be back.
Yeah. Like that kind of thing. It was a kind of that big piece that we just had no idea exactly what the timeline was going to be on when he's going to be able to get back on the field. Well, he's being activated off the PUP list, which is a good indication that he's going to be available week 1. What that looks like for the next couple weeks where they do have to, you know, push him around, you know, for the next couple weeks to make sure that he's physically ready to go by the time you get to the Cleveland game there in week 1 of the regular season. But it's good news that it's happening today. If it was happening next Friday, it would be like, all right, so he's going to be on the practice field again. That's good. Like, it's better today than it would be next week.
No
even.
doubt.
And if it's a week after that, then it's like, well, is he going to play at all?
You know, and what does he do in those joint practices or the joints? As by the way, you could probably, I wonder if Liam Cohen's made a bet, like he owes $1 every time he uses the word practice, because it's just the joints. But honestly, the buzzword of training camp for Liam Cohen, ops.
Ops.
It's all about ops, Tony. Opportunity, too big of a word. We've cut it down to ops. Now we can understand what I'm talking about. More ops. And if I only use one syllable, that's more ops for us to say other things later on in the conversation. Saving syllables, Liam Cohen. It's just funny to me. Everything's, everything's got to be an abbreviation.
Got to save the sills.
Got to save the sills. Save our sills, ladies and gentlemen. All right, here's where today's Chad and Sandy real estate poll question lands. Do you want Trevor Lawrence to play in the Jaguars preseason game versus the Panthers on Friday night? The options, not even a little bit, maybe a series, give him a quarter, or at least a half. Well over 200 people went on this one this morning. 43.3% right now say not even a little bit. 42% say maybe a series. 14% say give him a quarter, and 1% say at least a half. I think we have 2 official votes in that category. Why don't we discuss this with today's 10-10 take?
10-10
take.
Now, Mike Dempsey's 10-10 take. Flavored by Houston's Meat Company, Jacksonville's go-to butcher shop since 74.
I'll start this by saying I don't think he's going to play.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that you try to read the emotional tea leaves. I think Liam Cohen's been on a bit of a roller coaster with that in terms of, like, you can say anything you like, and then when it comes down to time to make the cold, rational decision, you're going to consider all the factors. And I think when you factor in everything on the offensive line right now, I think that he'll opt not to play Trevor. But I'm cool with maybe a series, maybe even 2. Now look, if it's a jailbreak on the first pass attempt, Tony, then I'm going to let him hand it off a couple times and get him out of there, right? But I'm okay. Look, these are the guys that you could roll out tomorrow are conceivably, even with Cole Van Landen returning off the PUP list, if he's not in complete game shape by week 1, the offensive line that has started the last couple of practices would be the offensive line I would imagine is going to start the season, right? And we want to see those guys get some work, I think, based on, what I saw or heard about last week. Or, Pregnon, I think, will benefit if he gets some reps live with Anton and Hainsey on either side of him. So you could go Anton, Pregnon, Hainsey, Cleveland, and Walker Little, those 5 across the board. You can protect, go a little, not necessarily max protect, but you got Brenton Strange and Borkature to help you out. And I'm okay. If, I'm not going to panic. I'm not going to be, oh, man, this is the craziest decision ever. It is football. At the same time, I'm okay with whatever decision Liam Cohen makes. But I personally lean towards maybe a series. And I put it that way because once you go to maybe 2 series, what's the difference between that and give him a quarter, right? So I'm kind of in that 1 to 2 series range because there are other guys. Jacoby Myers has expressed a desire to play. Josh Hines-Allen has expressed a desire to play, or at least a willingness, like, hey, I need this kind of stuff to get myself ready. And I think that if you go out there with that mindset, it's not like, hey, we're just going to be in a shell, but you can gauge it after first couple of snaps, what it looks like up front. And I know anything can happen on any one snap, but that can happen on the practice field as well. I'm okay, and I lean towards playing Trevor Lawrence. I don't think that will be the decision. So maybe the ones voting for not even a little bit are glad I'm not the head coach of the Jaguars. That's the 5,013th reason why they're glad for that.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of split the way that the poll is split. Right, and I'm with you. I'm okay with if they play him for a couple series or if they don't tomorrow night.
Yeah, I'm not going to be like, oh, you made a tragic mistake by not getting some reps in.
If the question is, would I play him tomorrow night? My answer would be no. I wouldn't play him tomorrow night. I do think there's a little bit of something to Trevor Lawrence given the way that we've seen him play, right, through the last 5 years where I think he needs to get hit before he feels like he's playing ball. right? Like that kind of thing. I can wait till Cleveland for that to happen.
I grant you that. Like, Trevor, you're not tucking it and running.
Right.
I'm going to put some restrictions on him, but I want him. I'm okay.
I'm okay if he plays a couple. So, like, I'm right there with you. It's just like if I'm making a choice, I'd say no.
Okay, that's fair. All right, so we're split on that, much like the poll is split.
Yeah.
But, like, I feel there's so much of a benefit. And granted, there's no guarantee this carries over. But if you can have that mental visualization, that success, we went out there. We did execute. Our running game did, in these circumstances, pick up the tough yards with Chris Rodriguez. Or Bajal Tootin gave us a couple of explosives. And you get a couple of reps in with Brian Thomas Jr. and Jacoby Myers, maybe Travis Hunter, some of the young guys playing in those circumstances. It's good for those young players as well to benefit from that. So I'm more on the playing for a series or two, but again, I'm more on I would bet that it's more than 50% likely that we're not going to see him tomorrow night. So final look at the poll before we get out of here today and some last thoughts on the Jaguars with the big news. Cole Van Lannon coming up, the physically unable to perform list. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here once more for DraftKings. September 2nd, DraftKings Game Day arrives with massive deals, exclusive deals, and an all-day celebration for sports fans. The DraftKings Sports app is live in all 50 states now. That includes right here in Florida. DraftKings Game Day is the kickoff of a new season, a new era even. Remember the date, September 2nd. New DraftKings customers right now sign up with code 1010XL. Spend $5 to get $150 in rewards within 14 days. That's code 1010XL. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC-registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click-to-claim issued in non-withdrawable predictions dollars that expire in 1 year. Ends August 23rd. Terms DKNG.co/predictions promo. Nationwide based on sportsbook predictions and free-to-play sports contest availability varies by state.
Jaguars
Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Flame Broiler has a new limited-time favorite, Korean short ribs. They marinate tender, boneless short ribs in the Lee family authentic Korean kalbi recipe. Charbroil them for smoky flavor. Then top them with tangy, sweet cucumber kimchi. Enjoy them in a bowl or on a plate. Order today in store or on the Flame Broiler app before they're gone. Flame Broiler, Korean short ribs. Limited time only. Order now on the Flame Broiler app or stop in today. But don't wait. Korean short ribs are only here for a limited time.
Jaguars Today Thursday, brought to you by Cannons of Jacksonville.
Looking for something different this weekend? Experience the 23rd Annual Jacksonville Tattoo Convention. Meet hundreds of talented tattoo artists, discover one-of-a-kind vendors and artisans, and explore the collector's alley packed with Pokemon, trading cards, sports memorabilia, comics, toys, collectibles. Bring the whole family, enjoy free parking, and take in a beautiful venue. Renaissance Resort at World Golf Village. Tickets are available at the door. For event details, schedules, and everything you need to know, visit setattoo.com.
Come to Monahan Jewelers store-wide 40 to 50% off sale going on now for a very limited time. Everything on display is 40 to 50% off at Monahan Jewelers. We've bought so much brand new jewelry, we need to make room for it. Diamond jewelry, engagement semi-mounts, colored gemstones, even gold chains. Right now, everything on display at Monahan Jewelers is 40 to 50% off. Jewelry's going quick, so come to Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it.
Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet, Rely and 2 lines of Essentials, choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence Data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
It all comes down to Daytona. The Coke Zero Sugar 400 returns at the Cup Series regular season finale August 28th through 29th. What driver had the lowest starting position of a Coke Zero Sugar 400 winner? What driver had the lowest starting position of a Coke Zero Sugar 400 winner? Text the driver's last name only to 641-1010 for your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets and 4 Fan Zone VIP passes to the Coke Zero Sugar 400 August 29th.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars today on 1010XL.
All right, got a few in here on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures as we get ready to wrap up today. Any update on the new offensive line guy from New York? I don't know what the update would be. Look, the only update we're going to get for tomorrow would be if he fails the physical.
Yeah.
Right? Otherwise, if he passes physical, I think it's just like, the Jags sent out we did a trade pending a physical email yesterday. So, I assume that is going to be, very easily accomplished because he's been playing. I don't think there's any health reason that they're concerned with in particular, but it's just I think it's a formality at this point. But other than that, no, because there's no media availability today. Jag's not going to be on the practice field. There, will he play tomorrow? Maybe. Not with Trevor, but maybe. He's been in. Yeah. Can you throw him out there with the Ricky Lees of the world? I think you probably can, Tony.
I would think so. Yeah, I did see Ryan O'Halloran.
Good luck, Nick Mullins.
Yeah, had the tweet about the heaviest players in Jaguars history.
Okay.
Right, and I think if the numbers on the math are correct, I think Collier is the previous biggest, and they listed him at 358. He felt bigger than that to me.
He's a big boy, Richard Collier.
When everything was said and done. But the new guy comes in, I think he's listed at 385.
385. So if he's listed at 385.
He's a big guy. Yeah.
I don't care, man. You know what? I want you to throw that beef around and if necessary, smack somebody in the mouth.
Get in the way.
And at least that.
Yeah.
Didn't necessarily do that. Apparently, according to Giants observers in their preseason opener, but I didn't see it, so I don't know what to tell you on that front. But no, so there's no, quote, update on it. He'll be here, and he'll be a depth piece. I mean, the biggest update is Cole Van Lanen's coming off the PUP list today, and we'll get to see him out there in practice in some form next week prior to the Bucs game. And look, maybe you play Cole Van Lanen for a couple of series, Tony. In that game, regardless of who's playing with him, because that's his chance, because
you would think he needs it. Yeah.
I wouldn't think Cole Van Lanen's going to go hard in back-to-back joint practices next week, just coming off the PUP list, right? So, all right, let's see. Somebody in my response to playing a series or two and feeling good about yourself, what if they play a series or two and suck? Well, that's always a possibility as well. It is
football.
Right. But I get that. We've seen that in the past. Well, we'd like to get him in, get some good work. And then there's another series. Then there's another series because the coach is like, I want him to leave on a good note. I think you've got to, if you're going to play them, as long as you're not getting your quarterback hit, you're going to have a very tight restriction on. You're looking for maybe 12 snaps, something like that. That could be one series. That could be two series, whatever the case may be. And again, I don't think he's going to end up playing Trevor Lawrence tomorrow night. I don't believe Liam Cohen will put him out there, but I would be fine if he does get a series or so in. Playing for a quarter on the text line here. Look, and it is what it is. They'll decide to do it. As somebody made the point earlier, Josh Allen played in the opener. That's fine. Everyone's got a different circumstance. And I think let's say if Cole Van Lanen had never gotten hurt, and he was healthy, and this offensive line was looking good all throughout camp and was rock solid, and you kind of knew who the five were, I think, you'd probably see Trevor Lawrence play a little bit, even with the good work that they got in yesterday against the Carolina Panthers. But I'm just happy that Cole's back and at least available to this team, and let's find out that is he one of the 5 best right now? Well, he may not be in the next 3 weeks, but I don't think it'll be long after that before we see him entrenched in the starting lineup.
It's nice with the last couple weeks where everything we're hearing about the offensive line feels so skewed negative, right? Like going into the season with the injuries that they've been dealing with, to get the Cole Van Lanner news, it's positive news for the football team, and that's a nice welcome change for the offensive line conversation here.
All right, as is XL Primetime coming up right now.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Josie, have you ever been described as a nice welcome change before?
Maybe after a bad breakup from a previous girlfriend.
Fair enough.
Come in
All
as
right.
a welcome change.
Rebound Joe.
Yes.
I like it.
I have served as the rebound man.
There's nothing wrong with being the rebound man, by the way, as I recall. Okay, It's been a lot of years before I was anybody's man but my wife's. Joey, Cole Van Lanner off the pup list.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of myself, and I made an XL prediction, extra large prediction.
You did.
on
I
XLP.
remember this. Yeah.
And I said it 2 days ago that he would show up off the pup yesterday for the joint, so I was a day off.
So in other words, you were completely wrong.
You can look at it a couple different ways.
No, that's pretty good, man.
Yeah.
I saw him out. You and I saw him together. We were standing there together, and I'm like, Joe, am I wrong, or does this guy look fantastic? In OTAs, this was back in June.
And I think both. I said it the other day. I said Mike was there, O'Halloran was there. I said we immediately all said no brace, no scarring. And so that was the two things that we were looking at more than anything else. And it did not look like it. And then I turned in the radio doctor. I'm like, you could have an arthroscopic procedure.
Sure.
But we're not talking about a major.
Right. There was no big jagged scar, and maybe they don't do those big jagged things anymore. But yeah, he was, and not only was he not wearing a brace, no scarring, he was moving and laterally.
Yeah.
And this was, a couple of months ago at this point in time.
They put him through a pretty good workout. The other thing that jumped out to me that we have talked about is that when he moved out onto the field outside, this was maybe 2 or 3 weeks after this, working from the right side of him. In other words, all of his sets were right tackle as opposed to left tackle. Boom.
Hey, I think that might be in play.
Yeah.
Flipping sides of the line. What's coming up on primetime?
We'll definitely talk about that and kind of look ahead. It is good news for Jaguar fans. They need some good news as far as this line is concerned, but then also college football. For all I know, Cole Van Lanner was maybe politicking to go back to college like a bunch of other guys are.
I am, but nobody will offer me anything.
They have been in training camp and now have appealed and have gotten a TRO. A temporary restraining order in our college football world is now common knowledge. Not even like it's just a common thing. And so now guys get to leave NFL camps and come back for another year.
That is kind of crazy. Signing with an NFL team, being in a camp, and going back to school.
Unreal.
Including local. I think it's Jack Pyburn, right? It's one of the guys.
Exactly.
Look, I'm a Flagler grad, but if UNF wants to throw $1 million at me, I will NIL my way right out of here tomorrow. Joey, have a great show.
All right, fellas, thanks.
All right, Joe Cowart coming up. Nobody's rebound man. All right, he's a frontline starter. So there you go. That'll do it for us today. Glad we could bring you some of the thoughts of Liam Cohen and Trevor Lawrence. Thanks to Hayes Carlyon for joining us as well, for Tony Smith and Jared Justice off the top turnbuckle. Tony coming into the ring for RJ Saunders this morning. We appreciate him as well. Word has it ET producing the program tomorrow.
Right.
Tom McManus will be in with us. Let's have a great day tomorrow. And come on, Cole Van Lanner. Happy to have you back in the fold with the Jags. So things looking up there. That'll do it for Jaguars today. Thanks for listening. Keep it right here on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars today.
You're at the home of the Jaguars in the